Most camping power stations are selling you capacity they know you'll never actually use. I've thoroughly researched the top models on the market right now, and one unit under $300 outperforms a competitor charging nearly double. That should not be possible, but the specs don't lie. Links to every model are in the description. Stick around until the end because the one worth buying is probably not the one you've already got in your cart. Here's what actually goes wrong with a bad portable power station. You're 3 hours into a camping trip, or the grid goes down, and the thing either can't power what you need, cuts out halfway through, or takes so long to recharge, it's useless by the time the next outage hits. I've gone deep on 5 of the most purchased models out there right now, checked the specs, dug through thousands of real buyer reports, and stress-tested the numbers against what manufacturers actually claim. Some of these are genuinely excellent. One of them is quietly burning people who bought on price alone. The ranking logic here is simple: real-world watt hours, actual recharge times, and whether the build will survive 2 years of use or start acting up at month 4. Price matters. Every single one gets a number attached immediately because you deserve to know if the jump in cost is actually worth it. By the end, you'll know exactly which one to buy. So you need backup power for a blackout or a weekend off-grid, something that can actually run a fridge, not just charge a phone. At $499, the Eddy AC 180 looks like the answer, and on paper, it's genuinely impressive. A 1,152 watt-hours LiFePO4 battery, 2 AC outlets rated at 1,800 watts each, a peak surge of 2,700 watts, and it hits 80% charge in 45 minutes flat. That's legitimately fast. Add a 20 millisecond UPS switchover and solar input up to 500 watts, and this thing sounds like a steal for the price. But here's where I have to slow down and be straight with you. As of 2026, there is an active lawsuit. Nishimine versus Blue Eddy Power Incorporated filed in California's Northern District in April, with a class action investigation running alongside it, specifically targeting deceptive marketing practices around pricing and so-called limited-time offers. That's not a rumor. That's a court filing. On top of that, multiple owners report hitting a wall with U.S. customer service. Reps apparently can't actually authorize a repair or replacement. That decision goes to a China-based team, which means your 90-day replacement guarantee can stretch into a slow, frustrating back and forth. And under heavy load, expect 50 to 55 decibels of fan noise, not silent. The AC 180 is genuinely capable hardware wrapped in a customer support structure that could leave you stranded at the worst possible moment. If the lawsuit resolves cleanly and the service issues get fixed, this ranking changes. Right now, it's 5th. But the next one up doesn't have those problems, and it costs less. So, here's the unit that costs less and has fewer red flags attached to its name. At $449 at the time of this video, the EcoFlow Delta 2 is a 1,024 watt-hours LiFePO4 power station sitting at number 4 on this list. And honestly, for a lot of buyers, it's where the real conversation starts. You're getting 1,800 watts of AC output, 15 total outlets, and a battery chemistry rated for 3,000 plus charge cycles. That last number matters. LFP cells don't degrade the way standard lithium does. This thing is built to still be useful in a decade. The charging speed is genuinely impressive, 0 to 80% in 50 minutes on AC input. If the power goes out at noon, you're not waiting all day. You're back online before dinner. It can also expand from 1 kilowatt-hour up to 3 kilowatt-hours with add-on batteries, which makes it flexible in a way most fixed-capacity stations aren't. Now, the trade-offs. The brand research here ran into a problem I have to be straight with you about. Available complaint data pulled up EF Educational Tours, a travel company, not EcoFlow. Those two are completely separate businesses, so I can't responsibly cite that BBB data against this product. What I can say is that EcoFlow as a brand carries a 4.7 out of 5 rating across over 5,000 reviews on this specific unit, which is hard to fake at that volume. The weakness that does show up consistently among owners is the app connectivity. Many report it's more frustrating than it should be for a premium product. Skip it if seamless smart home integration is non-negotiable. But if you want reliable, expandable backup power without the legal baggage we just talked about, this earns its spot. The next one up, though, that's where the value per dollar math gets almost unfair. Now, if your whole situation is this, you need 1,000 watts of clean power, you don't want to spend $500, and you're not trying to run a construction site, the Darren Cubus 1,000 liters is sitting at $328.92 at the time of this video, and it's genuinely hard to ignore at that price. This is the mid-tier slot, and it earns it. The specs are real. 1,000 watts continuous pure sine wave output, 2,000 watts peak, 576 watt-hours of capacity from a LiFePO4 battery. The chemistry that actually holds up through hundreds of cycles without degrading fast. It weighs 14.8 pounds. That's lighter than most units in this class, and you will notice that the second you're loading gear into a car at 6 a.m. 9 outputs total, including a 100-watt USB CPD port that will fast-charge a laptop without drama, plus 4 AC outlets running that 110 volts pure sine wave. Recharge it from wall, car, or solar. 0 to 80% in roughly 2 hours via AC, according to Darren's own internal testing. Here's the honest part, though. This unit only has 35 reviews at the time of filming. That's a thin sample. There's no independent third-party lab data I can point you to. The specs look solid on paper, but you're putting some faith in a newer track record. If that bothers you, and it's fair if it does, the next pick up the list solves that confidence gap. At a cost. That cost is $199. And at $199, the Jackery Explorer 300 is the most reviewed portable power station in this entire lineup. Over 11,000 ratings on Amazon, 4.6 stars. That kind of volume is hard to fake. People have genuinely lived with this thing. It delivers 292 watt-hours of capacity through 2 AC outlets, a 100-watt USB CPD port, 2 USB-A ports, and a 120-watt car port. 300 watts rated output, 600 watts peak surge. That covers a laptop, a CPAP machine, a drone, camera gear, real use cases, not lab theater. And it only weighs 7.5 pounds, which Jackery says is 17% lighter than the industry average. You feel that on a trail. The battery chemistry is LiFePO4, rated for over 4,000 charge cycles, north of 11 years of regular use before it drops to 70% capacity. Wirecutter ran theirs for 2 years of tested use. That's the kind of track record that earns a rank 2 spot. Now, the trade-offs. The warranty is 2 years standard. You can extend it to 3, but only if you register within 30 days of purchase. Miss that window, you're leaving a year of coverage on the table. Don't miss it. More pressing, there's a growing minority of owners reporting failed units on older models, and several describe real friction getting warranty support to respond. Not the majority experience, but not 1 or 2 people either. Jackery was founded in 2012. There's genuine history here, but the recent uptick in negative sentiment is worth knowing before you buy. For most campers and backup power users, this is still a smart, credentialed pick. For anyone who wants that full package peace of mind baked in from day one, our number 1 handles that differently. And here it is, the one that actually surprised me. At $109.99, the Darren 300 watts is the cheapest unit in this entire lineup, and it's also the one I'd tell a friend to buy first. Not because cheap is good, because cheap and right-sized is exactly what most campers actually need and keep ignoring. You are not running a base camp. You are charging a phone, keeping a lamp on, maybe powering a CPAP overnight. The Darren is built for that reality. It delivers 300 watts continuous output with a 600 watts peak surge, enough to spin up a small compressor or a travel blender without flinching. The battery is 192 watt-hours LiFePO4, which matters more than the watt-hours number alone, because LiFePO4 chemistry is rated for over 3,500 full charge cycles. That's a decade of weekend trips before the battery even starts to degrade. Now, here's the detail that seals it for backpack campers. This thing weighs 5.84 pounds. The brand claims it's over 35% lighter than comparable 300-watt models, and honestly, you feel that the moment you pick it up. It fits in a pack. It doesn't negotiate. Recharge time from a wall outlet is 2.1 hours, and the 60-watt PD USB-C port means your laptop tops up fast while you're at the trailhead. 8 ports total: 2 AC, 2 DC, a car socket, and 3 USB. Everybody's gear stays fed simultaneously. Who is this for? The hiker, the car camper, the person who wants real backup power without a second-checked bag. Now the trade-offs. 40 reviews is a thin track record compared to the other units here, and long-term reliability data is still building. If you need 2,000 plus watt-hours for an extended off-grid stay, look back at something like the Darren Neo 2000's 2,073.6 watt-hour capacity, a completely different class of machine. But for true portable camping use? At $109.99, this is the one that earns its spot at number 1. So let's put all 5 side by side, because the numbers tell a story the individual reviews can't. At the bottom of the capacity ladder, you've got the smallest unit here. Great price per dollar, but the runtime math gets brutal fast. Step up through the mid-tier models and wattage climbs, but so does weight, and that matters the second you're loading a car trunk at a campsite. The Darren Neo 2000 sits alone at 2,073.6 watt-hours, nearly double the next closest, but that capacity comes with a price tag and a footprint that rules out backpack camping entirely. Meanwhile, the $109.99 number 1 pick threads the needle. Enough watt-hours for a weekend, genuinely portable weight, and a price per watt-hour that none of the pricier models can touch. Warranty spread across these 5 ranges from 1 year to 2. Check that before you click. For 2 nights running a 12-volt cooler, a phone, and camp lights, the math points to exactly one winner. You already know which one. So here's the final call. The bigger batteries are real products, but they're for a base camp, a van build, or a power outage. Hauling them to a trailhead is a tax you pay in back pain, not performance. Step up to Jackery when you need a trusted brand name on a job site or you're running a CPAP overnight. The build quality earns that premium. But for the specific scenario this whole list was built around, 2 nights, a cooler, some lights, a phone, Darren wins. Better usable capacity per dollar, the right weight, and nothing you're paying for that you won't use. That's not a compromise pick. That's the right pick. Links are below. Check current prices before you buy, because these move. All the links are in the description. Current prices, no fluff. If your power needs are different from what I covered, drop them in the comments and I'll point you straight. Subscribe if you want the next gear breakdown before you waste money finding out the hard way. And yes, those links are affiliate. Costs you nothing, keeps this channel running,